You're listening to For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation.
For the first time in over 6 years, Star Wars is back on the big screen. But what did I think of Star Wars' return to the movie theaters? Let's talk about it. I feel like this is appropriate to have here for this episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my non-spoiler review of The Mandalorian and Grogu here on For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation. Star Wars is back, and I couldn't be more excited to watch a Star Wars film on the big screen once again. That was my biggest takeaway for the night, honestly, was, man, it feels good to see this franchise in the theaters again. It's been since December of 2019 since we've had something new. I went through ups and downs with my excitement for this movie. I wasn't too thrilled with the first couple trailers and pieces of marketing, but I really enjoyed that second one, and I liked the third one a decent amount too. But in the last couple weeks, I've just become so much more excited to watch this movie. The marketing hitting the stores, seeing posters and promo material for this everywhere, it got me just so excited. It felt like Star Wars was back. It felt like an event again. And I was really excited to see this one. The last couple Mandalorian projects did not really work for me. I did not like The Mandalorian Season 3. And even though I liked the Mando episodes of Book of Boba Fett, I wasn't huge on that show in general either. But these are two perfect characters to bring us into this new era of Star Wars on the big screen. What did I think overall? I liked it. I had a good time with this one. The big consensus for this online seems to be it's a really fun, self-contained story with Din and Grogu going on some adventures, nice, fun, pulpy action, some great effects, great score, and I really think the same way. I went in with just the mindset of, I want to have a good time with this one. I want to sit down, have fun, enjoy myself in the theater, and if the movie succeeds in that, then overall, I'm satisfied. That was my thoughts here entirely. The first half of this movie, I thought really, really worked. That opening set piece on that snow planet that they've been showing off in the trailer, chef's kiss, maybe the best part of the entire movie. It was the perfect welcome back to Star Wars scene, in my opinion. Ludwig Göransson cooked with this score as well. Some of his best work in Star Wars, some of the most unique, original Star Wars music that we've seen definitely since season 1 of The Mandalorian. But it also worked. It was like new territory, but it felt like it fit into Star Wars. Even at points where I'm like, well, this is different. But the more I listened to it and the more we got those familiar Mandoverse themes and motifs, I was like, yeah, no, I'm really digging this. He's just a master of his craft. He's always been excellent with Star Wars scores. This was no exception. Character-wise, it was fun seeing Zeb again as a massive fan of Rebels. I thought he was adapted perfectly to the big screen. And Rod of the Hutt, 2008, the Star Wars Clone Wars movie, was my first time watching Star Wars on the big screen. Yeah, I know, I'm one of those people. So this was a full circle moment for me seeing Rada back as we start this new era of Star Wars at the movies. And I thought overall, for the most part, they did a good job at it. There was a bit of getting used to growing pains for his first couple scenes with how they chose to portray the character. Jeremy Allen White really gives a fun performance, though. I thought overall, he was a really good character. I thought his scenes with Grogu were excellent. I really enjoyed their dynamic. And you go into this wondering, well, we know he's buff, we know he's jacked, we know he's going to be in this gladiator arena. What else do they do with the character? Overall, I thought they succeeded on that end. Non-stop action, a lot of times, great set pieces, great creature design. The puppetry in particular is so good in this movie. There are so many fun scenes with Grogu and the Anzellans that almost stole the show for me. Like, I was just really, really enjoying those, especially coming off of Project Hail Mary a couple months ago, where I was just blown away with the puppetry and practical effects in that film. Neil Scanlon worked on both movies. Again, he's a master of his craft. I thought it was delivered great in this one. And I think this is a really solid entry point for newer fans of Star Wars. Like, if you have someone that has always wanted to get into Star Wars, or a family member that you're trying to show the movies to for the first time, I think this is a really nice movie to just get them introduced to what Star Wars is. Throw them into that galaxy. It's not super lore heavy. They don't need to watch a lot of stuff to understand what's going on. Realistically, you can watch and enjoy this movie without having seen any of The Mandalorian, or at least only have seen a couple of episodes. Like, you don't need to have binged The Mandalorian season 1 through 3. You don't need to have binged Mandalore season 1 through 3, or Book of Boba Fett, or Ahsoka, or Skeleton Crew, like I was kind of expecting you would need to going into this one. It's really, really safe ground for new fans of Star Wars. I think it's really nice that we have a new entry point like this for new Star Wars fans. I think kids and families are going to eat this movie up. I think it has a potential to be a really fun, enjoyable summer film that could have some nice legs at the box office. I am overall just really hopeful that we're going to see even more fans that The Mandalorian introduced to us in 2019. I'm hopeful that we get a whole new group of them through this movie and just introduce more people to this wonderful franchise. That's not to say there were things I didn't like, though. I do think that this is a tale of two halves. I think the first half is excellent, like nonstop, going. I love the tone. I really enjoyed the story they were telling. We do get to a point, though, where it seems like we're entering like Act 2 of the film. And once we get there, things start to slow down. The movie feels like you could have shaved about 10 to 15 minutes off of it. And I think the pacing started to suffer a bit, even though they did introduce at that point concepts that I did enjoy and were pleasantly surprised with. But I just think the overall pacing started to drag around that second half. And yes, while I did expect this to be a low-stakes, self-contained story, I was hoping a bit more for some development between our two characters. I'm looking at you here, Grogu. While we do get a lot of fun Din and Grogu scenes, it really feels like they start and end the movie as the same characters we've seen them as in the last several Mandoverse projects at this point. While I feel like the movie feels more like what made season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian work really well, the issues I had with season 3 and Favreau's writing of these Star Wars shows are still there. I just feel like Din's character has been stalled for quite a bit at this point. And while I think he's so fun to watch in this film, I just wish we got a little bit more moving us forward with the story of these two. Overall, though, I had a really fun time with this one. People have been using the word fun as a negative connotation when talking about this movie, and I just want to know where that came from. Like, fun doesn't equal bad, and I want to know where that came from. Yes, we've had some serious, more grounded Star Wars stories like Andor and Shadowlord recently that have worked really, really well, and that I'm a huge fan of. But Star Wars is also pulpy. It's fun. It's whimsical. It's this grand adventure. Star Wars can be so many different forms of storytelling, so many different genres. It can pull from different mediums, different forms of storytelling. And that's the beauty of this franchise, is that you can have a serious political thriller like Andor and also just a fun popcorn action movie like The Mando and Grogu, and both can be enjoyable for different forms of audiences. People can like and dislike what they like from this franchise, and that's the beauty of this franchise that's been around almost 50 years at this point. And overall, I'm just glad it's back in the theaters. It felt great. I loved seeing this with a packed crowd, and I'm excited to see it again this weekend. This is the way indeed. So is it one of my favorite Star Wars movies? No, but damn it, I enjoyed myself. I'm excited to see it again. And I definitely think it's the strongest piece of Mandalorian content since The Mandalorian Season 2. But what did you all think of this movie? That's the most important question. Let us know in the comments down below. Or if you haven't seen the movie yet, when do you plan on seeing it? Are you going to see it opening weekend? Let us know. We will be doing a full spoiler review on the main For the Republic podcast sometime early next week. This is a very busy weekend for me. So we won't be able to record it this weekend, but sometime early next week, we're going to try and get that review out for you as well. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this more going into the summer as well. You guys can find me on all socials at Starlight. Andrew, you can follow the pod on Twitter at For the Republic Pod, on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at For the Republic Pod. Subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, you can find us there. And until next time, take care, and this is the way.